This team's ready to play, and this team has challenged us and stressed all our defensive fundamentals to the max. Anytime you get a team that leads the nation in category like making three-pointers, they have a unique, special, challenging style of ball that you have to be on your defensive game in order to compete against. I take my hat off to coach and the quality of their play. They was out one of their players. They've been on the road playing against a lot of Power 5 type teams on the road, and they got to be somewhat leg weary. And we've been off for a few days and taking an exam, and they gave us everything that we could ask for. That's a compliment to them and the way they put their team together. First half, obviously, they shot the ball extremely well from the perimeter, and we worked very hard on coming up with some defensive schemes to make sure we contested those shots. But they executed so well that they were able to play to their strengths, and they got good looks in spite of our guys really, really playing hard and being on our defensive focus. Obviously, the second half, they were not as effective, but I think a lot of that, the quality of our depth, I thought took its toll. And sometimes their effort was extremely good in the first half, and I thought at the beginning of the second half, our guys came out with a lot of energy, and I thought we got some separation, which forced them to be a little less patient than they were the first half, and I thought that made the difference in the game. Those are subtle things that I think areas of our game that I think we're strong in. We try to challenge our players at the end of the game. I mean, they're in the locker room after the game, just to try to remind them that the full sum of all our parts, which makes us a unique unit. We're not even close to being totally on top of our game. We have a lot of good parts, but in order for us to be a good machine, all the parts got to be working together. We show signs of tonight of giving tremendous effort, playing unselfish, and playing pretty good defense. That gives us some ingredients to build on. By no means have we come close to reaching our potential. We have a lot of new guys that we're trying to work through. We got some extended minutes for our 2 7-footers. I thought they responded fairly well. We tried to keep them as fresh as possible, but they're put in positions where we ask them to do something that they've never had to do before. Neither one of those guys have been featured players on the teams that they played with in the past. And so we are putting them in positions where we need them to be consistent with their execution and what we require of them. And that's not as easy as you would think. But I thought they responded well. I thought that made a big difference. The fact that we were able to attack the interior, I thought opened up things for us throughout the game. It gave us good drives. We got 42 points in the paint. We had 20 assists on 11 turnovers, on I think 41 made baskets. That means that we're sharing the ball, we're making a good effort. We got a lot of points off the bench, which means that the quality of our depth is growing and maturing. I think we're moving in the right direction. I just hope that we can continue to keep working together and accepting the way we have to play with the talent we have in order for us to be successful. I emphasize that because that rare level 5, that elusive mindset sometimes is very difficult to obtain when you play as many guys as we are. They have to share playing time. They have to, in order for us to play with the level of effort that we're playing. Had we not played with that level of effort, I'm not really sure that this team couldn't have been a lot closer. There's no doubt in my mind this team is going to play for the championship, probably with Liberty for their conference championship. I'm extremely impressed with their team, their style, and the great job that coach has done. Any questions?
UNF head coach stated that your program basically has 9 starters. Is that always the goal here at Florida State?
Well, the types of programs that we have had a unique opportunity to be a part of have been programs that we've had to build tradition. Oklahoma State, Miami, Florida State. And we recognize the fact that there were so many rich, traditional, successful programs ahead of us that we had to find some type of system to be a little different than the people that we had to compete with in order to be relevant. And so we are attracted to guys who want to be a part of a system like this, and our guys are bought in. And I've said this for years, that we win by committee. We don't have a starting lineup that we'll fix with. We'll make those adjustments as we go, and sometimes that's a little more challenging for guys to adjust to when you've been the man in high school and the programs that you've been a part of. Now you're going to a program that we have to share playing time to share the ball. But I think our guys have bought in because they realize it works for us. And when you look back over the years, most of our guys who have desired opportunities, and whether it's been in the NBA or in Europe, they've all been able to realize their dreams by buying into the system that we use.
As you look for signs of maturity from your team, the start of the second half there on both ends for you guys, just what does that say about this group to kind of put UNF away early there?
Well, I think that says that we're making progress developing and adjusting to who we are. And the thing that pleased me most, that all our starters played to near exhaustion, and they wanted to come out of the game, and they had enough confidence that the guys who were coming in for them would be able to go in and get the job done. And that's special. I think every one of our starters played hard enough where they exhausted themselves, and they were always saying, I got 2 more possessions and I need a break. That was very, very pleasing to me and encouraging that our guys are buying in and understanding that we just got to play hard, we got to play unselfish, and we got to keep utilize the full complement of our bench in order for us to be successful. That's a real step in the right direction.
Do you think more and more teams will be interested in trying a style like Coach Driscoll at UNF in terms of the number of threes they put up?
I think every coach in America would love to have guys who shoot threes like that. But he's done a great job of evaluating guys that fit his style. And when you look at their schedule, they've been all over America. They've been America's guests. And I think they might have been on the road, but the majority of the month. And they got, I think they play Syracuse and
Dayton.
and someone else before they start conference play. It's extremely challenging. They won't play anybody in their conference any tougher than the people who they played out of conference. I mean, they're going to be prepared, to go in and play at a high level as a result of the competition that they play against.
I know, also still has a long way to go, but from the beginning of the season to now, just how far has he come?
Fellas, I told our staff that I'm seeing something develop there. He's responding to coaching. We've been challenging him. We've been holding him accountable. We've been pushing him, and he's eager to learn. He's a sponge. And when you've been part of programs where maybe you're 4th, 5th, or 6th option, sometimes you relegate yourself to a certain mindset. And so we're featuring those guys every time down the court in transition. I mean, their job, if they don't get a rebound, is get to the middle of the lane, and we're looking for them to push, the kick, and the reversal, and the swing. They get 4 looks every time they come down the court. Well, when you're not accustomed to doing that, but it's not that easy when you have to sprint to that spot. That's exhausting, but it also exhausts the guy who's trying to guard you. And so sometimes that's when you don't have the ball. Sometimes subconsciously you have a tendency let me try it. Well, in our system, that doesn't work. It doesn't work for us because we need to have that push so that we can get an easy basket in transition, or fatigue a guy, or draw a foul, or have him posted on maybe a smaller opponent. That works within our big scheme. And for him and Dom to be tag teaming that principle in our system was refreshing to see.
Anybody else set?
Well, fellas.